Greetings, everyone. My name is Talenta Mngomezulu. I am the Math, Accounting, and Economics tutor for grade 10 to grade 12. Today, we are looking at grade 12 calculus application. Right? Let us dive in. Provided that you are giving something like this, very interesting. Given f at x is equals to x squared, determine the minimum distance between the point x, between the point where the x coordinate is 10 and the y coordinate is 2, and a point on F. So now let us start this question or problem all together. Okay. All right. Firstly, I'm giving the point. I would call this point A, the given one, is 10 maps 2. Then I need point B. But because I'm told that at the point of F, I know how to create a point. A point is created by the value, the input value of X and the output value of Y. Then if I were to draw maybe a quick short diagram like this one, and I say this diagram is f at x. A point of on the graph is x being plugged here to get the output with an x squared, because the output is x squared. This is what to do. If I plug any x value into this function, the output to this function will be x squared. Therefore, the point that they are talking about is a point of any x value that gives us the output y coordinate into a square, with the square of the inserted value input x. Okay, that is my ugly drawing. So by now I have the 2 points. What do I need to do? I need to generate or to give the distance between them. So the distance between AB is equals to the radical sign. The radical sign into the value of AX into, which is 10. Let me not repeat that one. Which is 10 minus the value of B X inter, which is X. I put a square plus the value of A in the Y, which is 2, minus the value of B, in Y, which is X squared. And I put a square. Following. The formula. Then I simplify this thing. The product simplification of this one. If you don't know about how to simplify this product, I will then suggest that you watch one of my videos, another video of mine explaining in grade 10 the expanding of binomial terms. Okay, this one is just nothing but it will be 100 minus, I times this x with this 10, I get, and I multiply them with 2, I get 20x. Okay, lastly, I get plus x to the power of 2 plus I times this 2 with another 2 to get 4. Okay, right? Then I say minus 4 x to the power of 2. Okay, lastly I say plus x to the power of 4. Then I rearrange this one into the order of higher variable exponent, which is x to the power of 4 minus, I can know that I have this as a second variable with the higher degree or higher level of exponent. Then there are the like terms with this one. There are the like terms, which gives me minus 3x to the power of 2 and minus 20, the following one, x. Then lastly, plus the constant, which is a like term 204 and give us 104. Okay. Then to get the minimum distance, I need to take this distance and derive it and equate it to 0, because this is how we can get our x value. Then take the x value and substitute back to our distance formula and get the minimum distance. So let me get the minimum x value. The minimum x value will be substituted to the distance formula to give us the minimum distance. How to get the minimum x value is to derive this distance and equate it to 0, because it's where the minimum movement or the minimum change of the distance is being derived. So now I'm deriving okay, let me not use, I'm deriving this one, the distance into dx, and let that one to 0. The derivative of this inside value or this inside equation distance function is nothing but it will be equals to 4x to the power of 3 minus 6x to the power of 1 minus 20. If you happen by mistake, you do not know how to do deriving, I will simply show you how to derive. Right. Then the derivative is being led to 0. As I say, I let the derivative to 0. Then I solve for x. It's very simple to solve for x. Firstly, I just use this thing. I say I will I'm letting the value of x, let x equals to 0 minus 1 minus 2 or 1 or 2. But now, provided that the function derived is equals to 4x to the power of cube minus 6x minus 20, any value that I can plug here and get 20, that value will be accepted, and we can just find another values. This is how to solve. There's another video of mine trying to solve this formula. Then let us see. Let us start by letting 2 and plugging 2 here, putting minus 2. So if we put minus 2 minus 6x here, okay, sorry, minus 6 into minus 2 minus 20, what do I get? I know here that if I can just plug this value here, say 4 into minus 2 squared minus 6 into minus 2 minus 20, I get positive 8. Okay, because I get, sorry, not positive 8%. Let me just put here. Let me just put here. I get minus 40. So thereby, I cross 2 is not accepted. I put 1 because I get minus 40, not 0. So I cancel. Then let me just put, because I've put in 2, let me just put positive 2 now to make things simple. 2 minus 6 into 2 minus 20. Okay, to the power of 3. Sorry that I didn't put the power of 3. Okay. Now I'm putting 2. Let us just check whether the solution are the same. So if I'm putting 2, I can see that what do I get? I get 0. I'm using my Casio calculator to get 0. So immediately I got 0. Then I go. Okay, let me just erase because you can do this one as your rough work. Now I immediately go and erase this one. Let me just erase this one. Okay, erase all this, and let me just now take this one and put it here and begin. So I say I did let x equals to 2. Then after doing that, I can just find another possible value of x. Okay, I will say x minus 2 into, firstly, if x is minus 2 is a first term to multiply a trinomial term inside, the trinomial term will be created as follows. Number 1, it will be having 4x squared, the trinomial. And the last term of my trinomial, because I have minus 2, it will be plus 10. Okay, because if I multiply minus 2 and 10, positive 10, I'll get minus 20. But what about the middle term? What about the middle term? How do I find out about the middle term? In order for me to find out about the middle term, this is a quick strategy I want to show you. Let me look every possible value that will create a middle term. My middle term here is minus 6x. How it is being created? Firstly, it is being created by multiplying 2 with this value that I do not know. And I got minus 2bx. And it is created by x multiplying with a constant term. And therefore, it is created by plus 10x. This is how it is being created. Then let us solve for b. As solving for b is 2b is equals to, I create 10x and 6x as the constant. And I divide by x. Okay, let me just put x because I don't want to confuse you that much. Equals to minus 16. Okay, x. Remember, there's a minus sign and minus sign. I divide by 2x on the both side. Divide by 2x. Divide by minus 2x. Then my middle term is nothing but it is equals to positive 8. Okay, so now I've got this positive 8. Okay, therefore it's very simple. Let's remember that it's equals to 0. Let's not forget that. Therefore, it is practically very simple. It means now the function that I have is x minus 2 into 4 x squared plus 8x plus 10 equals to 0. Okay. Then if so, I'm worried because now I'm having positive 8x and positive 10x and x squared. This worry, it leads to me asking, is this equation function or is this trinomial realistic? How do I get that? You have this if this is realistic, its discriminant must be greater than 0. Once its discriminant becomes less than 0, therefore, this equation have a non-realistic x possible values. Let us now check. The discriminant is equals to, okay, b minus 4ac. This is how the discriminant is being checked. Okay, now let us check. If I put 8 squared minus 4 into 4 times 10, now the discriminant I get, the discriminant is equals to, okay, 8 squared minus 4 into 4 into 10 is minus 96. Minus 96. 4x squared plus 8x plus 10. It has a discriminant. The discriminant, therefore I say the discriminant here is less than 0. So what does that say? Says that all the values of x are irrational. So x values from here, you can say that x values, the element of x here, are irrational or are irreal. It has the irreal values of x. We cannot able to possibly identify or possibly give values. Even if we like it or not, we will get max error. Therefore, it tells me that my x minus 2 is the only possible function for this derived. So my x is equals to 2. All right. So if my x is equal to 2, it tells me that the possible minimum x value is 10. I take my possible, I come back here. Here I have my distance formula. The distance formula is as follows, written as follows. So because my distance formula is as follows, it means that the minimum distance between the point, which is A and B, and the point from the graph is nothing but it is a radical sign. Okay, a radical sign. Let me just write. It is just the radical sign of 2 to the power of 4 minus 3 to the power of, here I just put 7. I just put 2, close the bracket with a square, minus 20 with 2 plus 104. Okay. And plugging this one to my calculator, I say 2 to the power of 4 minus 3 times 2 to the power of 2 minus 20 times 2 plus 104. It gives me 2 to the 2 multiplied by the radical sign of 17, which is a short form. Therefore, always take note that the distance will be just the possible 2 decimal values, which is 8, if I'm not mistaken, point maybe 25. Yeah, and that is a final answer, and that is a minimum distance. Thank you. Please like my videos and subscribe, and make sure that you expect another upcoming video. In the next video, we will be looking at the Euclidean geometry similarity problems. Thank you very much.